Welcome back to the Gavel. Now let's take a look at some other major activities in the House of Representatives during the week.
Officials of the State Security Service attempting to arrest a federal judge in the early hours of Saturday, the 8th of October 2016. Events of that day have led to this investigation by the House of Representatives.
It is purely a fact-finding and investigative committee whose brief is essentially to determine whether or not the DSS has statutory power to investigate offenses of corruption and consequently to search the premises of and effect the arrest and detention of persons on account of that power.
Only a few of those invited were at the event. The only judge present made a brief speech.
I actually do not think I have anything much to say, since my position, as it has always been, that is that DSS never, and I repeat, never came to my house.
The hearing, however, got heated when it was the turn of the chairman of the Code of Conduct Bureau.
You gave an answer here that corruption is a threat to internal security.
Yes.
Now I am asking you, the one that relates to you directly, under declaration of assets, false declaration of assets, does it amount to a threat to internal security of the country?
I would like to get a legal advisor. I will not answer that.
No. Now, you want me to come with repeat the question?
No, I don't need your repetition of the question. I would like to have my legal advisor here.
The committee also heard from the Rivers State government.
Nobody here is out to defend rogue judges. Our memorandum says that the DSS did not act in accordance with any enabling laws.
The committee says it has received written statements from some of the judges involved in the matter.
Confirmed by the DG budget. I think we should.
Ministers, permanent secretaries, and representatives of other agencies of government are before the Joint National Assembly Committee on Appropriation. The committee is considering the request of President Muhammadu Buhari to transfer 180.8 billion naira from the 500 billion naira Special Intervention Fund in the 2016 budget to cover other shortfall within the budget. The lawmakers called on the special advisor to the president on social investment to speak on the Special Intervention Fund.
We are beginning today to enroll the beneficiaries in all the states for the Empower program. The homegrown school feeding also is beginning in 11 states. The cash transfer, none of it yet has been, but it's this month that we're beginning to roll out. The cash transfer program, we have 9 states that have met, and we're going to start paying the 5,000 to those 9 states. We have 11 states waiting to begin. We were developing a social register from which we will mine our beneficiaries.
The lawmakers, however, sought to know how much of the 500 billion naira had actually been spent so far.
The amount that has been spent is not up to 1 billion, but I don't have the figures here.
The ministers and other representatives then defended the funds that their agencies needed. Some of the lawmakers, however, pointed out that the funds needed now had been approved by the National Assembly when the 2016 budget was passed.
Maybe somebody wanted to score a political point or anything by saying this budget was padded and the rest of it. Thus, advised the president to approve the cut. And now we have this problem in our hands. We wouldn't have this kind of problem if the budget is allowed to go as approved by the National Assembly.
The lawmakers, however, say they will complete work on the document soon.
Some communities in Zamfara State have been attacked in the last few weeks. In separate incidents, gunmen attacked some villages, killing men, women and children, and also attacked some miners in Gidan Ado village, killing over 40 people. It's not exactly clear who are the perpetrators of this mayhem, although reports coming out says they may be cattle rustlers. We spoke with a federal lawmaker from Zamfara State, Senator Abiriba-Arochukwu, who raised a motion in the Senate over the insecurity in Zamfara State.
The issue of Zamfara, has taken the center stage now. And in the last 2 weeks, it climaxed to unacceptable proportions, where about 243 people were killed within, just 2 weeks. And if you look at our belt, the Zamfara axis, you come to some parts of Katsina, you go to Gombe, whatever. That is the belt, and Benue, Kaduna, that is the belt that produces, almost maybe 80% of the food of this country. It can be called the food basket of the nation. So by the time you stop people from going to farm, you can, the consequences can best be imagined. And that is exactly what is happening now. You go to Kaduna State now, people cannot go to farm for fear of abduction. You go to farm today, you are kidnapped and they ask for ransom. Nobody is even talking about robbery these days. They rob people, they take people, and you go and sell your whatever you have, you bring monies to them. Now that is what is happening in Zamfara. The first incident that happened about 2 weeks ago, in a minefield, able-bodied young men, were going about doing their daily business, or providing, or putting food on the table of their families, were attacked in the minefields, and sprayed with bullets. The ones that were inside the ditch, they set fire inside the ditch, and they killed the people. About 67 people were killed there and then. Now, when you look at the lean security presence that we have, I'm talking about police here now, but even if you combine everything, like the Zamfara State, I was told we have about just 4,000 policemen. Now, I will show you just a picture of what, you see, this is a locally made revolver. A locally made revolver, but it uses, what do you call it? AK-47 bullets. You can see it. What you see, the round something there is the cartridge. It holds 10. This is locally produced now in Zamfara. I was really frightened when I go. You see, when I was in my house, about how many policemen seated, and most of our young men, are holding this kind of weapon. This is another set. This one is even more deadly. This one uses motorcycle or car plugs as its bullet. That is what it discharges. A plug. They pump in plug, put gunpowder and whatever concoction they put inside, they put the plug, and that is what it fires out. Now, if care is not taken, if something drastic is not done, in the next few years, the kind of sophistication these people will have in arms manufacturing, and the number of arms that will be in that enclave, if you take the stretch of that desert forest, that borders Kebbi State, Niger State, Kaduna State, Katsina State, and Zamfara State. All of them, and the criminals that are inside that place, and the number of youth that hold this kind of weapons. Now, God forbid, if there is any problem between any community and another community, now the consequences will be better imagined.
Now, this is where we draw the curtains on this week's program. But before we go, let's take a look at some of the mails we received during the week. A mail from kane@yahoo.com, who wrote to us on the federal government's loan proposal, says the executive arm of government doesn't need to go borrowing around the world. Rather, the federal government and indeed all state governments should reduce the cost of running government in the country. For me, the number one arm of government to reduce costs is the legislative arm. Nigeria cannot enjoy the luxury of running a bicameral system of government. The Senate should be disbanded and we run a unicameral system of government. Another mail from Johnson Osayande reads, it says it's high time the general public be carried along in the executive's decisions. It is very important that Nigerians must decide whether the federal government should take more loans or not. And thank you for these mails, and please keep them coming. Thank you once again for staying with us, and see you again next week.